Northeast Arkansas News is brought to you by Glenn Sane.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for your Northeast Arkansas Late News. I'm Josh Egbert. City officials are working to complete the final piece of Jonesboro's new master bike and walking plan. It connects Ray Street to Arkansas State University and downtown Jonesboro. Northeast Arkansas' Simone Jamison tells us about the benefits.
The final piece of construction in Jonesboro's master bike and walking trail is underway behind Turtle Creek Mall. On Wednesday, workers spent the day laying 36,000-pound concrete blocks. The trail will connect Ray Street to downtown.
The residents from south of town here will be able to walk all the way uptown to St. Bernard's Medical Center if they want to, all the way uptown if they need to. We've got a lot of work to do, but it'll be nice when we get done.
When workers finish this section of the walkway, it's going to look more like an S-curve. But that asphalt that you see behind me will go over that 65-foot bottom ditch, make its way through this area of road and stretch over to that portion of the sidewalk that you see behind me. The bike and walking trail is a part of an ongoing Greenway project and the city's new One Jonesboro Beltline initiative to unify business owners, Arkansas State students, and other residents.
I think the biggest challenge is just actually bringing all of Jonesboro together and making a true connected plan for everyone.
Once it's complete, Jonesboro's bike trail will be just under 4 miles long. Parks and Recreation Director Danny Kapalis says travelers can look forward to more connectivity, mobility, and safety.
This walking plan would be a trail that would house people with bicycles, walking, running, just give them an opportunity to get to local schools, just have an opportunity to get to facilities around Jonesboro without having to use a car.
Contractors hope to wrap up the final phase construction by the end of August. For Northeast Arkansas News, I'm Simone Jameson.
Now, Jonesboro's full bike and walking trail plan is available on the city's website at jonesboro.org.
Now, your first weather.
Well, good evening. Meteorologist Andrew Kozak here. We're starting things off with a look at your almanac today, reaching a high of 87, where we should normally be right at 87. The lows, though, a little bit muggier, a little warmer than the last couple of days. We were in the low 70s. The record 109, nowhere near that, and of course nowhere near the low. By the way, last year on this date we were at 93 degrees, so a little bit warmer there. Right now we are sitting a little cooler across portions of the area. We are looking at temperatures that will cool back down into the upper 60s and low 70s tonight, bottoming out tomorrow morning at around 73 in the city of Jonesboro. By lunchtime 83, and by 5 o'clock 87. Your high tomorrow should peak somewhere in between 4 and 5 at around 88 degrees. Now the difference tomorrow versus today is we'll probably have a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms on the forecast as well. We're going to continue that trend as we head a little closer to the weekend and then into next week. The big story will focus on the temperatures. I'll talk a little bit more about what we can expect as we head into next week and tell you how hot those temperatures will get. Coming up in your full forecast in just a few short minutes.
All right, Andrew, thank you. The city of Jonesboro is on the rise, but one section is feeling a bit neglected. Northeast Arkansas's Alexis Padilla tells us what is being done to help the north side of Jonesboro.
It's like we were a forgotten city, but that's not a total true statement, but it had to be said so we can get some attention.
East Johnson and Jonesboro acts as a dividing line between the north and the south side. Over the last 8 years, Reverend Charles Coleman has been serving on Jonesboro's city council. He is hoping to be an advocate for the north side by bringing attention to the streets, sidewalks, and code enforcement that need help. Councilman Coleman says the north side of Jonesboro is not as bad as people think, but improvements can still be made. Yesterday, he met with Mayor Perrin and a representative from the Jonesboro Police Department to think of ways they can help the area.
Hopefully some bicycle officers riding through the community. We're talking about me going and talking to the officers themselves and helping them identify certain situations, and they're going to identify some things that I don't know that they're doing. So it's going to be some changes.
Habitat for Humanity is also working on bettering the Northside community with their Build Up for Phillip project. They are planning on building 9 homes surrounding a pocket park.
We hope that will ripple into the next neighborhood and the next neighborhood. The park, there is not a park in that area for almost a mile, and so there are a lot of children in that community area that need a place to play.
These improvements cannot be made without community involvement, whether it is by donating to the Build Up for Phillip project or voicing opinions at a city council meeting. Either way, Coleman says big things are heading to the north side.
I'm hearing that there's going to be some good things happening within the next year.
For Northeast Arkansas News, I'm Alexis Padilla.
Well, you can leave your keys at home tomorrow and ride the bus instead. Tomorrow is National Dump the Pump Day. Jet buses in Jonesboro, along with other public transportation agencies across the U.S., will be offering free rides all day. The purpose of the day is to encourage people to use public transportation instead of driving. Jonesboro Director of Transit says the day helps remind people about the conservation of fuel and carbon emission rates that transportation provides.
A family with 2 vehicles gets rid of 1 vehicle, it can save them almost $10,000 a year just with gas and upkeep and insurance and everything. It's actually designed to get people on the bus that normally would not ride and let them give it a try for free. It's not going to cost a penny. It's going to save you your day's fuel.
Black says Dump the Pump should bring Jet more than 200 extra riders than their average day. Crowley's Ridge Nature Center provided kids and their parents an opportunity to get an up-close and personal look at some of Arkansas's most interesting mammals. Raccoons and bobcats were among the animals displayed in today's Mammals and Arkansas presentation. At least a dozen parents and kids were involved in that interactive presentation. Now, the program is designed to teach children different facts about animals they might not learn at home, as well as provide them a fun and educational way to interact with those different animals and learn about their impact on the environment during the summer months.
The raccoon show, because I get to learn about cute raccoons.
So we like to teach them, kind of instill a passion, if we can, about these critters that you can find just sometimes in your backyard, and all you really have to do is learn a little bit about them to be able to find them and to take care of them, to understand kind of the importance that they play.
All summer events at the Rowley's Ridge Nature Center are free and open to the public. The interactive animal presentations are expected to continue until August. Well, in health news tonight, there's a shortage for the newest shingles vaccine. Now, the shingles virus affects 1 out of every 3 adults during their lifetime. That vaccine was approved by the Drug and Food Administration in the fall and started becoming widely available in the beginning of this year. But that vaccine is more effective than the other shingles shots, and the result has been in a high demand. Now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the manufacturer has implemented order limits as a result, and some retailers have created waiting lists and are calling people in when that supply is ready. The drug maker is working to increase supply, but the CDC expects shortages and shipping delays to continue throughout 2018. Eating when stress is a learned behavior, not an inherited one. A study by University College London found the home environment is what spurs emotional eating. That's because parents often give upset children their favorite food to soothe them. But eating disorder charity disputes the finding, saying parents cannot carry all the blame. Their experts say emotional eating indicates an unhealthy relationship with food. Well, several recent outbreaks related to contaminated food have affected dozens of people across the country, but health officials say technology and consumers are helping contain those infections. Nikki Batiste has more on how to protect your family.
New numbers from the CDC show 10 more cases of salmonella infections linked to pre-cut melon. 70 people in 7 states have now become sick. Kaido Foods recalled the fresh-cut melon products earlier this month.
People that are infected with salmonella will have diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps about 12 to 72 hours after they've eaten a contaminated food. You know, most people recover in about 4 to 7 days. Other people do have a more severe illness and do require hospitalization.
Last week, another salmonella outbreak was announced, this one linked to Kellogg's Honey Smack cereal. The CDC says new technology is helping them better detect these outbreaks and stop them.
When people get infected with bacteria, we're able to use this new technology to get a DNA fingerprint. And when people have the same DNA fingerprint, we're more confident that these illnesses are related to a common food.
While these recalls can be scary, there are things you can do to prevent foodborne illnesses at home. That includes looking out for the recalls and tossing contaminated products.
Also, people can help us solve outbreaks. If you get food poisoning, go see your doctor, report your illness to a health department.
The CDC also reminds everyone to follow safe food practices, washing hands and surfaces often, cooking foods to the right temperature, and refrigerating them promptly.
For more information on how to report a problem and more tips on how to stay safe, log on to foodsafety.gov. 2 cold coffee drinks by McDonald's could be leaving the most well-known coffee chain out in the cold. Some fans of the fast food giant's unsung coffees are saying that in the Twitterverse that Mickey D's cold brew frozen coffee and cold brew frappe may leave Starbucks coffee out in their future choices. Now, the frozen coffee version is the cold brew extended blended with ice into a cold, creamy frozen drink, and the frap is the same but comes with whipped cream and chocolate drizzled on top. The drinks may be succeeding because of the extra ingredients added to the coffee, which coffee purists may tend to pass up. They're also coming out at the time McDonald's is poised to make a stronger run at a low-cost alternative to Starbucks in the market. Starbucks just announced less than expected earnings coming up in the next fiscal year, and they'll be closing about 150 cafe locations. Well, still to come tonight here on Northeast Arkansas News, President Trump says he will sign an executive order to end family separation at the border. Stories of children being taken from their parents have turned into a political crisis for the president and Republican lawmakers.
Temperatures today reach the upper 70s to the far north and west, 80s to near 90 in some parts of the area, especially the closer you get down toward Memphis. I'm meteorologist Andrew Kozak, your 7-day plan and much more after the break.